The form flickered on Administrator Vexus's third visual receptor, its edges blurring in that way that suggested his optical implants needed recalibration. Again. He tapped the screen with one of his smaller manipulator appendages, watching the holographic display sputter like a dying star. "Brilliant," he muttered, his translator converting his frustration into 14 different galactic languages simultaneously. Just brilliant. The registration document belonged to one Emma Hartley. Species designation: human. Planet of origin: Earth. That backwater dirt ball in the unfashionable arm of the galaxy that nobody paid attention to until their Death World classification got updated last rotation. The application looked standard enough. Adequate scores in theoretical physics, acceptable marks in xenobiology, completely unremarkable aptitude assessments that suggested she'd do fine at any mid-tier educational facility, which made the destination field very, very problematic. Vexus read it again, hoping his translator was malfunctioning. It wasn't. Destination: Carvos Prime Military Academy. He felt his circulatory fluid pressure spike. Carvos Prime wasn't just any military academy. It was the Military Academy, the place where the Galactic Coalition sent their absolute best warriors, tacticians, and strategic minds. The institution had a 37% mortality rate during training. 37%? That was the official number anyway. Rumors suggested it was higher, but that acknowledging the real figure might discourage applications. The Academy specialized in counterinsurgency operations, hostile environment warfare, and what they euphemistically called extreme prejudice protocols. Their graduates went on to command fleets, lead special operations teams, and occasionally overthrow small planetary governments when those governments got too comfortable with piracy or slave trading. Their entrance requirements included being able to bench press twice your body weight in standard gravity, survive 3 days without water in a desert environment, and pass a psychological evaluation that confirmed you were stable enough to follow orders but aggressive enough to kill without hesitation when necessary. Emma Hartley's file showed she'd listed her hobbies as reading historical fiction and baking sourdough bread. "Oh no," Vexus whispered. "Oh no, no, no." He pulled up the application pathway logs, watching the data stream paint a picture of bureaucratic incompetence that would have been funny if it wasn't about to get someone killed. The form had bounced through 7 different servers. Somewhere around server 4, a corrupted data packet had merged Emma's application with that of a Draxian shock trooper named Krell Bonecrusher. Krell's application, with its impressive combat scores and documented history of surviving gladiatorial combat in 3 different star systems, had gotten redirected to a culinary institute on a peaceful, agricultural moon. Krell was probably learning to make pastries right now. Emma Hartley was scheduled to arrive at Carvos Prime in 6 standard hours. Vexus reached for his emergency communicator, then stopped. If he reported this now, it would trigger an investigation. The investigation would reveal that he'd been routing personal messages through government servers for the past 3 months. His supervisor would find out about the gambling debts. His mate would discover the messages to that Centaurian dancer. He looked at the countdown timer. 5 hours, 58 minutes. "She'll figure it out," he told himself, closing the file. "Humans are supposed to be clever, right? She'll realize there's been a mistake and just leave." He deleted the error logs, cleared his viewing history, and went to lunch. He did not sleep well that night. Emma Hartley stepped off the transport shuttle and immediately knew something was wrong. The landing pad was constructed from some black metal that seemed to absorb light. Scorch marks decorated the surface in artistic patterns that suggested frequent weapons testing. In the distance, She could hear what sounded like explosions, followed by someone screaming in a language her translator hadn't loaded yet. The other passengers disembarking around her were not studying xenobiology. The Vrelian to her left stood 7 feet tall, with 4 arms ending in claws that could probably shred titanium. She'd seen his kind on nature documentaries, usually in segments titled Apex Predators of the Vrelian Highlands. He was checking what looked like a plasma rifle, his tail swishing in a way that Emma's danger instincts suggested meant excitement. On her right, a species she didn't recognize was performing what appeared to be dynamic stretches, each movement producing cracking sounds from joints that shouldn't exist. The being had 6 legs, multiple articulated spines protruding from its back. Watch the full video on my Spotify channel. Click the link in the description below.